Hello, everybody. Angela here. I am your quantum catalyst, helping you navigate through these shifting frequencies of our new era. And I have brought you outside for today's video into my backyard because being outside, being in nature, is something that really relates to the topic we're going to be talking about, which is becoming a frequency anchor. And this is intimately related to why so many of us are feeling so much shifting right now. So this is for you if you've been feeling a little bit on edge, like life is really speeding up, like your emotions are a lot louder, more intense. Maybe your clarity and your focus and your momentum are up and down as well. They kind of come and go. So there is nothing wrong with you. You're not having a breakdown. You are actually tuning into a more resonant frequency bandwidth. And why this is happening is very real and very related to what I was talking about a minute ago. The fact that we are in a new frequency era. Your body, your energy, all the systems running through you already know this. The issue is that most of us are still trying to operate with the old tools that worked in the old frequency era. Tools like pushing ourselves harder, one of my favorites, no pain, no gain, overthinking, figuring it all out from the mind, disconnecting from ourselves, telling our bodies, like, just shut up for now, I'll take care of you later, while we try to do what we think is keeping up. But what we're really being called in to is to keep up with our frequency, not with our mind, not with what we're doing, but with who we're being and the energy we're holding. So those old tools are not going to work anymore because the frequency that we are meant for, the frequency we're co-creating, is a new era on our planet, in our human collective, and it is not an era that's being built by force, by what I call the distorted masculine. It is being co-created through frequency, and frequency anchoring is a really big part of that. So in this video, I'm going to share what that actually means, why this shift is happening now, how it shows up in your life, and most importantly, how to stabilize yourself so you are no longer being dragged down into what are really old timelines and old octaves of frequency. So you can start creating what you're actually here for in these really important times on the planet. So what's emerging now through all of us, through our collective frequency and our experiences, is a whole different way of relating with life itself. And this new way of relating is asking us to shift from managing our external world, like we've been doing, to mastering our internal frequency. And all of that starts with what I call becoming a frequency anchor. So that's why I wanted to come on today and talk about this. So what does this mean? This is a complete shift in how we create our lives. We were raised, most of us, in the Western world anyhow, to create from force and effort. And now we're moving into creating from frequency and coherence. And a lot of times we don't have new practiced tools and patterns within us that allow us to do that easily. So when you become a frequency anchor, it means that you are becoming the stable center in this time of rapid change. Not because you're controlling everything that's happening, but because you are aligned and sourced and flowing through the frequency of something not only deeper, but wider. So you no longer chase alignment, you begin to live from alignment, right? That's a big difference. You're not looking to heal all these old patterns. We often get caught in these healing loops. You just start broadcasting the template of the new pattern. So this is really important because it means that we are no longer outsourcing truth or clarity or power, right? We're learning to hold it in our bodies and then let that coherent, that balance, that unified frequency ripple out into everything. Your choices, your relationships, everything you're creating. And the way that I am receiving it and feeling it and experiencing it is that this is the embodiment of divine will. It's not what we used to think of as God or divine will, like a top-down command, where this is the will and this is what we do. It is more of an inner alignment that creates resonance in your life, your family, your work, your business, and your world. And when I talk about being a frequency anchor, it's not something extra you need to do. That cannot be overstated. It is a way of being that makes everything else just allows it to flow. And this is what's even more powerful until I'm getting excited. Your frequency is 100% unique. No one else on the planet in this lifetime or any other carries the exact blend of soul codes, vibratory resonance, and dimensional intelligence that you do. You are not just here to feel better or make more money or raise your vibration or find love. You are here to anchor this multifaceted, multidimensional current of truth and expression that can only come through you. And if you ask me, that's number one freaking important. So when you start to stabilize this frequency, that signal in your body through presence, through practice, through energy coherence, you aren't just shifting your life, you're transmitting a frequency that is upgrading the field of our collective. That is not unimportant or fluffy or woo-woo. That is what I call bioenergetic reality. And it's part of why this moment in time, like this phase we're moving through, is not only important, but really sacred. And I don't use that word a lot. I don't use that word lightly. But this is that flavor of divine will being restored versus our personal will. Which was a big part of our old paradigm. So in the old paradigm, we were taught, right, to rely on personal will, to push through, to strategize, to, quote, make things happen. But in this new era of frequency, it is not about making it happen in the sense of our individual, ego-driven mind. It's about letting it come through us, co-creating with life. Just like this beautiful wind is moving through the trees behind me, if you can hear that. Because divine will is not some faraway force. It is not coming from some esoteric idea in a sacred text. It's the actual current of truth that runs through you, your entire being, when you're in full coherence between the layers, mind, body, soul, spirit. It doesn't come from force in the way that we have been taught it or the way that we have understood it. It comes from alignment. So when you're living from divine will, it feels like just a clear space in your body, instead of pressure in your head or pressure in your chest or, constriction. It feels like saying yes from your whole body, not from fear of something negative or from trying to please other people or from what you should do, but just yes, just like an exhale. And it's definitely not waiting around for signs or just like bypassing action. It is really about letting your actions be directed by resonance, so that the energy behind what you do is aligned with that greater picture of what you're truly here to create and to transmit. Because when you anchor in divine will, in this healed, clear, more pure, for lack of a better word, expression of divine will, you're not pushing towards purpose any longer. You just start expressing it. And that is a big relief. And you are already becoming a frequency anchor. Let me tell you, even if you haven't had words for this, if you have felt more emotional lately, more tuned in, more aware of even your own really subtle misalignments, and I've been talking to a lot of women that are experiencing this, and I myself have been going through this quite a bit over the last few months, particularly. Like, it's not a sign you're regressing. And that sometimes is really important to hear for those of us that are productive and we like to move forward and it's all about momentum and evolution. Like, this doesn't mean you're regressing if old things are coming up. It's just a sign that your frequency is rising, the same way the frequency of the earth is rising. So if you found yourself outgrowing relationships or business models or roles in your family or just rhythms in your day that used to feel really like fine, it doesn't mean your life is falling apart. It means you are being called to a greater level of coherence. Also, your body may be changing. This has been a very real one for me. Moving through perimenopause, if any of you all are doing the same out there, give me a shout in the comments. Your nervous system may be more sensitive. You can't override the signals, the truth of your body, the way that you used to. And like, welcome to this new frequency era, because that doesn't mean you're losing your edge. If you're really like high achieving, productive person like me, it could feel like that. But you're actually finding new alignment. So it is not random what's happening on the planet. We are in a collective period of, you could call it initiation. I have been feeling it as return. And that leads me to the next point of the video. Some people are calling what we're going through now the second coming. And I had a Catholic religious background and really have not been into any kind of terms relating to what I saw as religious for many reasons, not only my background, but the way that I'm receiving it now has really opened this up for me. It is a second coming, not of one man, not of like one moment, but of divine embodiment. It's a reunion of love and truth, of masculine and feminine, of matter and spirit. So it's not like I used to think, when I was in 5th grade in Guardian Angels Catholic school, I used to think they would talk about the second coming, and it felt really scary. Like, it says something in this inevitable future that's going to wipe out the world. There's going to be a burst of fanfare and heavenly like trumpets and, whatever, maybe a flood or some other catastrophic event, right? That might have just been my natural predisposition to imagine the worst. But now I understand this. It's already happening, and it is happening through each and every one of us. So this era is calling people like you and me to stop living from fragmentation, to start anchoring the resonance of our soul in our bodies. Really, to stop trying to ascend out of our own lives and start bringing the sacred or the divine, that higher energy, into how we live, how we create, how we relate. We are the second coming, not in theory, but in frequency. So it's not a metaphor. It is actually a mission. This is how we rebuild what you might call Eden on the planet. Not by escaping the earth, but by anchoring source back through the planet with the frequency we're holding and the frequency we are transmitting. So, this shift isn't just something that I've studied. And I know this will resonate with a lot of you out there. Like, you're living this, right? For me, I spent so much of my life in a constant state of doing, like I said, high achieving, trying to be better, proving my worth. Like, even when I started my healing work, technically, my life was working, quote unquote, but on the inside, I still felt really subtly incoherent. Like I was disorganized in some important way that I couldn't put my finger on. And maybe even like I was transmitting or expressing frequency that I didn't intentionally remember focusing on. And then I had a discussion with one of my guides, and something really clicked for me. I located the distortion physically, like in my inner architecture. I shouldn't say physically, it's more like energetically, but everything is woven together, right? So I located it in my energy system. And it was a false overlay of divine will as pressure. So I'm not going to go deeply into this in this video, but this is part of the synthetic grid that was put into place on the planet during what we know, we might know it as the fall of consciousness, back to Atlantean era distortions. And so I moved through this immediate shift, and what I uncovered under that false overlay was so much peace, so much clarity, just a sense of knowing, like there are no words for this, that I am the anchor for this now. I don't need to chase after it or ascend out of it. Like, I am the vessel for this, and I am here for it. And that is when this video was born, and this term, frequency anchoring. So how do we do this in our daily life? It's always about the practical, right? It's nice to feel these higher frequencies and terms and the new era coming through, but we still have to do our laundry. We still have to make money right now. We still have to, a lot of us are in this in between. So anchoring frequency is not about becoming perfect or like being zen and calm all the time. It is first and foremost about becoming present, coherent, intentional, deliberate, holding the shape of who you truly are, even as life is moving all around you. So I have a few ways that are very powerful that you can start anchoring. And here is our first one. Spending time in nature as a deliberate reconnection practice. Not just taking a walk to clear your head, but taking time to tune in and sync with the natural rhythm of life. Let yourself just be with the earth, not as something separate, but as part of your own nervous system. Let the rhythm of the trees that are part of Earth's nervous system, the wind, Earth's breath, the water, Earth's blood, co-regulate your field, your body, every layer of your being. Another good way, the second way that I love to put into practice is to pause and just check in with your energy before you take action or before you move from one segment of your day to the next. So you're writing an email, you're kind of rushing through it, maybe you're a little frustrated. or having a conversation, instead of rushing, take a breath, come back to now, recalibrate. It only takes a beat to let your highest and your most coherent frequency actually lead. And it does get easier. The more you do it, it gets so much easier. The third thing that is super important that I wanted to mention is making those micro decisions that affirm your attunement or your connection. Like, instead of having a second cup of coffee, maybe you drink a glass of water. Maybe before you go on Facebook or YouTube and start scrolling, you close your eyes and you put a hand on your heart and you just be here, tune in. Maybe instead of like doing the 19th thing on your list when you already feel tired and drained, choosing to rest for even just 5 minutes, just rest. And the fourth thing, and I think there are 5, I'm looking at my notes, because without the notes, I'm off track hopelessly. The fourth thing is allowing yourself to feel and transmute emotion, not to bypass it. This is so important right now. Letting your tears move through, your anger come up and clear. All these energies have information for you. Frequency anchoring means that you're making room for the full spectrum of being human and letting the energies that don't serve be alchemized by your presence, by your attention. And then the last one, the fifth one, is to make sure you're speaking from your soul. Our voices, our words, our thoughts are so, so powerful. Don't go on default if you can help it. So just notice when you default into old language or old patterns or old personas, parts of yourself that do not reflect your highest, most aligned frequency. Just take a pause again, and then let your words come from alignment with that truth. You can feel it. Once you start to practice it, you will feel that higher frequency that you're anchoring. A few common missteps that disrupt frequency anchoring, because even when we want to live in alignment, it's so easy to fall into habits that pull us out of coherence. So here are a few really common ones to watch for. First and foremost, and I'm going to do another video on this because it's so important, is trying to figure it all out in your head. When things feel off, your first instinct might be to think more, longer, harder, but frequency doesn't live in the mind alone. It lives in the body. So anchoring starts when you allow yourself to feel your way forward, not mentally dissect what's happening to death. And I've been guilty of this, so I can talk about it. Another one, making your current emotional state mean something about your worth, who you are as a person. If you have low energy today, it doesn't mean you're failing. If you're feeling a wave of grief or anger, it doesn't mean you're, fucking it all up. These are just energetic weather patterns. Think of them like weather moving through. Having that anchor means you can be with your feelings without identifying as them. The third one, and I did touch on it earlier, is waiting to be fully healed, air quotes, before you show up. This one is so sneaky. The idea that you have to be like in your highest frequency before you can make a move or, connect or create keeps so many of us, women especially, in hiding. But the truth is that anchoring happens in the showing up, even when it feels messy. It isn't something that you earn. It is something that you live moment by moment. So I'm going to wrap this up. It's getting a little bit long. Just remember that you are not here to hustle your way into a new reality, right? You're here to hold it, to be it, to become a person whose presence changes every room and every part of your life. Not because you're doing or saying the exact right thing, But because you are aligning with the natural energy and the frequency of the change that is you, that's happening in real time, this is the path of the frequency anchor. And it's not a concept, right? It is a lived practice. So I think that's all I wanted to share today. That was a little bit of information heavy, but this is a topic I feel really passionate about. So let me know in the comments how this is landing for you, maybe how this is showing up in your life. And if this is something that you're really ready to explore and to deepen into your capacity to hold that soul frequency in real time, my Frequency Anchor mentorship is open now. And in this space, we're working with all of this stuff across physical body, energy field, inner architecture, so you can root this next level of frequency of becoming into every single part of your life. This is something that can be really challenging to do without support, especially now. And it's not just about feeling better or creating whatever you're working on, love or freedom or abundance or ease, but being the anchor for this expansion in our families, in our relationships, in our world. So if this is speaking to you, you can learn more about the mentorship at the link below. It's getting really sunny. I'm going to wrap this up. You can always reach out to me and we will chat about it. And if that is not your path right now, like if this video activated something in you, just keep on anchoring. Keep on listening. You're the frequency. And I am your quantum catalyst. Signing off. Until next time.